here to talk to us about the other side. Dave Miranda, Communications Director for the North Carolina Democratic Party. I misspoke the Clinton campaign earlier, but I figure you're both on the same team.
We are absolutely on the same team. You know, we're working together to elect Democrats up and down the ballot. All the campaigns are working
talk to me about this unaffiliated voter. I asked Kirk about that, about how he's going out to reach that specific voter. How big is the unaffiliated voter for you in North Carolina, and how are you reaching them?
Well, that's the big question mark, right? Are the unaffiliated voters going to come out and vote for a woman in Secretary Clinton who's got great experience, who's ready to be president on day one, who was in the part of the team that brought Osama bin Laden to justice, and who has a plan to continue our economic growth and expand it so that no one is left behind? Or are they going to choose in Donald Trump someone who brags about sexually assaulting women, someone whose economic plan would result in the loss of 3.5 million jobs and plunge our economy into recession, and someone who can be baited by a tweet, someone who is unfit to be commander-in-chief and lacks the temperament, the judgment, and yes, the experience to be president?
So that's the question for unaffiliated voters. There's the choice that you're presenting them.
It's a pretty stark choice.
Now, Kirk would say to us, and he was just here, he said, listen, the vote is about change. It's about someone completely different coming into the office, and that's why we're resonating with that unaffiliated voter. That's something that Clinton doesn't represent. What do you say to that?
I think we've had 8 years of strong economic growth, right? 70-some months of uninterrupted jobs growth. And we know we have more work to do. And Secretary Clinton is clearly the right choice to continue that work. A lot of those unaffiliated voters are going to be turned off by Donald Trump's misogyny, his racism, his rhetoric against immigrants. You know, the list goes on and on. And what are we doing to reach out to them? Over the past week, we Democrats have made more than 3 million voter contact attempts, right? We've got thousands of staff and volunteers in dozens of offices across the state, knocking on doors, making phone calls, turning our vote out. And we really do have a superior ground game that's going to help elect not just Secretary Clinton, but a new governor in Roy Cooper, a new senator in Deborah Ross, and candidates all the way down the ballot.
We're watching all of those races. We've spoken to a few different folks on the program, not associated with campaigns or either side, and they said, listen, the early voting results, although it is close, and everyone will say it's very close, they're giving an edge to the Trump campaign because of the unaffiliated voter, and they feel that the polling, now we don't talk about polls as of today, but they were looking back. They felt that the early voting numbers suggested that Trump could pull this out. So that, what do you say?
I don't think that's accurate. We've seen higher turnout among women, many of whom, again, are going to be turned off by the fact that Donald Trump has bragged about sexually assaulting women. We've seen higher turnout among young people, many of whom are going to be turned off by the divisive rhetoric, the anti-immigrant rhetoric, the misogyny, the racism you see from Donald Trump. You know, so I think the question is those unaffiliated voters, and I think they are going to break for Secretary Clinton.
Just noticing the list that you keep going down for Donald Trump, is your argument to voters primarily that Hillary Clinton isn't Donald Trump, that it's a vote against Trump to vote for her? What are voters voting for Hillary Clinton?
It's a stark contrast, right? I've mentioned the things that they're voting against in Trump, and I've mentioned the things they're voting for in Secretary Clinton, right? Continued strong economic growth like we've had over the last 8 years, and expanded to not leave anyone behind. An economy that works for everyone, not just those at the top, but, you know, includes working class families and middle class families, right? And a country that says we are America, we're working together, and that we truly are stronger together, not someone or a campaign or a party that seeks to divide us by what we look like, or you know, what gender we are, or what race we are, or what religion we are.
We know that you've been working really hard, and it all comes down to tonight. So we look forward. We're going to see Dave later on tonight. We'll be at the location tonight to get the results, and maybe we'll be talking again when we get some more information. Dave, it's great to have you.
Thanks
you
so
very much. Really appreciate it.